Well, they can be doing harm and they can be doing good, and it depends on each one. But it is a bit of a conundrum in a sense, where now you get these foundations, the Red Cross, the Smith family, the da-da-da-da-da-da, and they seem to have a representation in a lot of Aboriginal communities. So you have a lot of people there trying to do the same thing. What really needs to happen is that if people would go out there and government officers, bureaucrats would go and try and find the programs that are working with whoever they're with, and then support those, that would make a real difference. Rather than every charity, every foundation, try to do it all over again. That means a lot of employment for mainstream people, be they Aboriginal or non-Aboriginal people. A lot of employment for them. Not much people for the Indigenous people themselves. And we end up with some communities where there could be 2 or 3 servicemen for service people, 2 or 3 service people for every Indigenous person. Now that's ridiculous. What we should be doing is empowering the people themselves around basic fundamental information. Now, what I'm talking about here is something that I know that works. In the late 70s, I worked in a community where the people ran the whole administration office themselves, did all the financial work. They brought an accountant in once every 3 months to help them pull the final things together so they could send their reports to government. They did the whole lot themselves. They built all the roads in the area. They were doing the contract in the area. They were doing an essential service. It's all in that book, Why Warriors Lie Down and Die. And so I know it's possible for people to run their own communities, participate at a high level. But the program that made the difference there, that there was a community development office, where that community development office was the central information hub, where they could bring any question any time of the day and sometimes into the night into our house, asking questions about how this worked, what did this mean, what did this English term mean, and so on. It was just a constant conversation dialogue where people could get answers to the questions they had, and therefore they could be demystified and understand the real factors that shape the world around them. Then they could go out and be functioning the next day and make sure the programs happen. I still hope that we can get back to that across the Yolngu regions. And if we can get enough modern media happening with enough flow of information, it'll be possible. So if some of these charities and all that actually get behind programs that are already working in the community, rather than come along and set up your own organisations all over again and do your thing, get behind some people that are already in the field, that already have experience in this area. Gee, it'd be nice to have a couple supporting us in some of our work. Some of our programs where we can turn back chronic disease, we can do that today, we know that. Where we can get people ready for employment, where we can produce media material which could go out and save the lives of thousands of people and maybe more across the world. It'd be really great if some of these charities or organisations that raise funds for sponsorship of Aboriginal people start to think about educating whole communities rather than 2 or 3 elite Yolngu children who you're probably going to do a lot more harm to than help. Start thinking about using those same amount of dollars into how you can shift that education out to thousands of adults across the region through modern media. I've said this to so many colleges and colleges mainly that have turned up in Arnhem Land and wanted to talk to me about how I could help them in their sponsorship programs for Aboriginal children. I try to convince them to go the other way. No, they want their name in lights and they want their Aboriginal kids in their sponsorship programs so that they can say that they've done it. We need to do things a little bit different, guys, if it's going to work.